And this morning, in the bottom left-hand corner of Frostline, we have the red Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Team Liquid. It is SKillous. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the blue Zerg player. The blue Zerg from South Korea. It is Dark. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time predictions. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck. Best of luck in the chat, as you have a couple of minutes to get your Gamba going while you can. Here we go. As Dark is going to be opening a patch first, and SKillous is slowing down, getting into a gate expand into Cybercore. Here we go. Now, if you've been watching SKillous as of late, you will know that SKillous, he has been fond of a couple of certain builds here. Whether it's a 3-base all-in with Blink Stalkers and Fast +1, or whether it is Archon base play. Archon drop into Storm into the mid-game has also been a style and a build that SKillous has been very fond of. It is, of course, a style that has been quite prevalent among some of the European Protosses, specifically the Polish Protosses. I'm referring to Mana, Christiana, Geralt. They've all been embracing this style. It looks like SKillous has adopted it as well. He doesn't rely on it every game, but he does like to mix it in every now and then in a series. Does like to mix it in. As we're settling into our series, a big shout to Complete in the chat. Gab, thank you so much. Thank you so much for subscribing for 1 year, for 12 months, for 1 year of support. Gab, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you so much for subscribing. We do appreciate it. Work today, Sag. Good luck with the broadcast. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Take care at work. Hope you enjoy yourself. Hope you have a great day. And thank you for dropping by as well. Thank you. Thank you. As always. As always. Again, thanks to the support that we get in the chat, that we're able to, cast as often as we do, organize events as often as we do as well. Thank you. As of for now, we are going to be settling in. We can see Dark pulling out of gas, does leave one, but for the most part he pulls out, and we should be soon taking the third base. So send a play out of Dark. SKillous is going to be opening up Stargate. Now, our big tell here that we're looking for, this should be Stargate, Oracle into a third. I mean, could even be Void Ray into a third base. Regardless, we should be seeing a third behind this. The tech structure, though. Do we go for a Robo? Do we go for a Twilight Council? And at what time do we see this thrown down as well? That would kind of let us know, that would give us a bit of a greater idea as to where SKillous will take this in the mid-game. As for now, the opener is standard. Meanwhile, Lynx, they slip into the natural, and one probe goes down. Nice pickup here by Dark. A better trade. Trading out 2 Lynx for a probe. Depth threading a shade into the natural. Here we go. As I've said, do thread in the shade. Gonna be forced back. Third base now on the way here for SKillous. And the question becomes, what do we throw down? What do you have for us? There's a second gateway. Overlord for Dark does dip in, trying to get what's going on. We can see only one Oracle. Uh-oh, which means we're preserving gas. Oh, okay. Second Oracle on the way. Still waiting for that tech structure. And there it is, Twilight Council. So it is going to be a Twilight Council with the halfway mark on that Nexus. I do not see a Forge yet, but this does look like a Blink-based opener for the time being. I'm very tentative on that one. What's important about what we're seeing here? No Forge. Or I should say, very delayed Forge for SKillous, which means no upgrade. So regardless of tech, it is going to be quite committed here from our Protoss player. We'll see if we go into Blink or into Glaives. It does feel a little bit late for a Glaive Adept follower. So I'm leaning more towards Blink, but we'll keep an eye on SKillous as he's going for a Gateway Explosion. And show us what you got. Yep, there it is, Blink. Blink is on the way, so very aggressive build here by SKillous. Again, skipping and delaying +1 in the Forge, going for a Gateway Explosion, getting up to 6 Gateways into Blink, into what looks to be a 3-base all-in. Now, Dark, he sees the Gateway Explosion, so big scout for Dark. Knows what's going on. Adepts, they do shade in towards the third. Drones are going down. Nice pickups. Getting 1, getting 2, getting to 3. I say 3, up to 5, 6 workers going down, but the Oracle is going to fall. Brutal pickup. This is going to weaken the push here from SKillous. Again, the power of a blink-based all-in is the oracles that support it. Like, whether it's Pulsar Beam, whether it's the stasis traps as well, Lings can shut down, they can shut down Stalkers. Oracles typically deny that from happening. So I'm concerned that we already lost 1 Oracle. Behind this, Banelings are massing up. No Roach Warren. No Roach Warren for Dark, just purely Ling Bane. Also no Lair, which is concerning. So it's just going to be purely Ling Bane here from Dark. Baneling bus on the way. We'll see if Skills can hold, as he's going to have plenty of Blink Stalkers. Following this up with Double Forge. Double Forge on the way. Blink about to finish. And Dark is looking quite committed. Dark still making 22 Lings. Dark, he is still not fully saturated that third base. Now we see a Roach Warren, now we see a Lair, but this is a late Lair and a late Roach Warren. Dark, he has to get some value here with the Ling Bane. He's pushing. Dark is pushing. He's hoping to distract the main army to waddle into that mineral line. Checks for a 4th. Here we go. Baneling's going to be waddling in. And Darky's going for the mineral line. And is he going to notice in time? Baneling's going to crash in. Meanwhile, they do get into the mineral line. 9 probes going down. Brutal damage. Darky's trading well. He's trading well here. Zips in. The Oracle trying to help out. Remember, there's only 1 Oracle to help support. Stalkers are falling. Expensive losses here for SKillous. And Dark, he's done enough. He gets 11 probe kills. Catches out some of the Stalkers. And behind this, Dark has been joining. He's been joining up, getting a 4th base, getting it saturated, getting 71 workers. Not bad. Lair is finally done. Now, SKillous, he isn't out of this yet, but tech-wise, he's in a really weird position here. 1-1 upgrades will help. He's working towards Storm. But until then, just stuck with purely Stalker and potentially Archons. This is building up energy. And again, with this opener of SKillous, he wanted to be more aggressive. He wanted to be more assertive, but he was stuck at home. He couldn't apply any pressure. And Dark is looking quite comfortable. He's spreading creep, taking more bases, droning up, getting +2 melee. If SKillous didn't lose any workers, different story, but he did. Goes into the main. Stalkers, they hit the 4th. Oh, sorry, I should say the 5th. Forcing a cancel. Dark was double expanding. He's once again going for a run by. And Dark, he's just maintaining map control. Moving out with a massive amount of Lings, with Roaches. Okay, the upgrades for the Roaches are non-existent. But they're still there to support. He does support the main army, knocking down those rocks. Now, I do favor SKillous's army composition, but the size isn't there, is a problem. Like, the size, the supply is still a little bit lacking for SKillous. And it looks like he's going to commit. We have a War Prism on the way. With that Prism, he can move out. Until then, he's stuck at home. Frost Sign, it's very difficult to maintain a 3rd and 4th. Just because these bases are so spread out. Here comes a Baneling Runway. What is it to defend? Zealots! Oh no. Banelings, they roll in. Zealots are going to be shut down. Nice Storm! Very nice Storm. Whew. SKillous holds. At the same time, here comes around the station as they pop up. Very nice stasis. Very nice trade here by SKillous. Shuts down the Banelings. Shuts down the main push. He defends. Does defend. We can see now Dark is taking. Hive is now on the way. Hydrogen just now on the way as well. Again, this transition from Dark is quite late, so it's still just a really awkward game state. Considering how low tech Dark has been, despite having, I would say, map control and a greater economy. Like, it's still not clear cut. Going for another Bane bust, another run by. There is not a storm ready yet. There is no storm. Does spot the army. Dark coming in for a flank. Skills in position. Dark, he baits out a storm. War Prison towards the main. Dark's main army being forced back. As I mentioned, like, Dark's main army is still lacking. Lings, they attempt to surround. The Lings, they get completely shut down. And SKillous is trading very well here. These are 0-0 roaches. Roaches get cleaned up. Storms, they shut down the Lings. Prism into the main. And the Warpin, it's gonna finish. Yeah, Queens are going down. Northern base, and SKillous is popping off both in the north and the south. He wins on both fronts. And Dark is in trouble. Dark, he's in a lot of trouble as the Protoss player has broken out of his contain. He is committing. Zell still catching reinforcements. Another big warp in. Zell say continue. And yeah, these roaches, they just melt. Yeah, they get picked off one after the other. Base is going to be going down. And GG gets called. SKillous, he snowballs out of control. And SKillous takes game number 1. Whew, GG. GG, well played. SKillous popping off, attacking, in 3 locations at once. And again, the biggest concern for Dark in that game, as we were trying to point out time and time again, is his tech. He was stuck with a very low-tech army. He was very committed initially with his Lingbane aggression. Remember, he had delayed his Lair, he delayed his Roach Warren, so all of his tech was delayed. Because of that, late Hydroden, late Hive, late Lurkers, everything was later than usual. And because of that, there was a window in time where SKillous could break Dark before he could actually tech up into a proper army, into Hydras or Lurkers or anything else. Ooh, so GG, well played. SKillous playing well. Again, outside of the initial defense where he did lose a lot of probes, he was able to fortify himself, had some very strong fights defensively, and then it all escalated very quickly from there. GG, well played. Whew. With that, so we're getting into game number 2, and we'll see if SKillous can take the 2-0. Again, remember, leading into this, I was praising SKillous for improving, for closing the gap between SKillous and the other top Protoss players in Europe, like Showtime and Max. We were talking about how SKillous has been defeating players like Solar, Shin, and Rogue on a more regular basis. SKillous has been looking like a beast, and here we go. Can he take the 2-0 as we get into game number 2? As sporting in the bottom left-hand corner of Ley Lines, we have the red Protoss player representing Team Liquid, leading the series 1-0. It is SKillous. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back and force the ace match. It is Dark. Here we go. SKillous is in hot form, not gonna lie. He has been, again, for the past 2 months, like, for the entirety of January and December. Specifically, those 2 months, like, SKillous has been on fire. Hasn't looking very in form. It's a shame that SKillous, he's kind of peaking post-EWC, you know, during the off-season, but again, coming into 2025, SKillous is very, very in form. And hello, what's going on? Dark is doing dark things. He does open up with a hatch block. The goal here is to get a hatchery at the natural location and try and make SKillous as uncomfortable as possible, disrupting the build and disrupting the opener. As the hatchery has been thrown down. Now, as a reminder, this is a hatch opener. What does that mean? No gas, no pool. This is not an all-in. This is not an aggressive build. As we said, this is a build that is supposed to delay the economy of the Protoss more than anything. As you can see here, an extra probe is forced down the line to attack the hatchery. Likewise, Zelda is being chronoed as we speak to focus on the hatchery as well. This is all just delaying the build and giving Dark an edge, ideally, in game 2. Now, SKillous, he confirms that there is no spawning pool, so he knows that he's like under no threat of like a Ling Flood or like an all-in or anything like that. SKillous knows he can play it safe. But again, Dark, he kind of thrives in this more chaotic game state, where how much experience does SKillous have at playing with the delayed Nexus, right? Like, the reality is, these builds that these players do incorporate, they're so refined and they're so so efficient as well that like it's down to like a T with what you want to do, with how you want to play and which units you warp in and your timings, and that's all thrown off by this hatchery. Hatchery even finishes. Queen is on the way, Lings as well. Now the goal of this queen is to spread creep. If he can get a tumor here, he can delay even further, but I think the hatchery should go down before the queen can actually pop out. So I believe we shouldn't have to worry about the tumor. Yeah, there's a cancel. 2 Lings there. He wants the probe. He wants it. Up, up. Oh my god. Hatchery goes down. The queen is denied, and the Ling gets a full scout. Ling gets a full scout of the main base, gets eyes on the Stargate. And now finally, SKillous can eventually expand. The creep is receding. Lings are here to delay even further with that egg. With the morphing in cocoon. Now it's cancelled. And now SKillous can finally try to expand. Back at home, Dark droning. Dark getting a third. Does have 2 Lings to poke in. He's trying to delay the counterattack. This is also the downside of this build that Dark is going for, is that because he forced out all these units, it means that now he's vulnerable to a counterattack. Back at home, Ling speed is not done. He does have 2 queens in position, and he's forced to make more Lings. Dark would love to drone right now, but he can't. He's making Lings. He has to take this very seriously. Tordeps can one-shot drones. And if he cut Ling production, he could just die. 3rd queen has arrived. Ooh, can he force a cancel? No shot. The 3rd base is getting very low. Queens are 1 Ling in. Ling's trying to amass. Speed is not done. Oh, the Oracle does engage with the queen. Less than ideal. Taking a lot of hits. And it looks like Dark, he will hold. He will hold. He will defend. The hatchery got very low, but does survive. Does survive. Now it's on SKillous to race back home. To escape. And now we can calm things down and try to establish a game. We'll get there. We'll get there. You can see here, Dark, he's looking for those adepts. He's trying to hunt them down. He knows they're somewhere out there. Likewise, SKillous now saturating his base. Things are coming in for a surround, but they're going to be denied. As SKillous is opening up triple Oracle. Dark making extra Lings. Spores in position. 1 drone goes down. Devzel does hit the 3rd. Once again, Dark, he does want that army. Won't get it. Ooh, the Oracle takes a lot of damage, though. A whole damage on the 1st Oracle. SKillous does reinforce his adepts. Now up to 4. Oh, no! Takes a lot of hits. Takes a lot of damage. Has to pull away. And he races back home. Nice surround here by the Lings. They collapse here on top of the adepts. And Darky will clean this up. He will shut this down. And Darky cannot freely drone. He cannot freely drone up. Spores are on the way. Lings are being active, going for a counterattack headed towards the 3rd base. They're spotted by the Oracles. Despite that, SKillous out of position. He didn't notice. Yeah, he didn't notice. Ay, ay, ay. That's a big moment here as we're going to force a cancel. That should not have happened. It should not have happened here. SKillous caught out. Caught inattentive. And Dark still maintaining map control. He is able to drone. Lair is on the way. Much faster Lair compared to last game. Getting to the Lair. 4th base. SKillous, you should at least force a cancel on the 4th. But that's not as impactful as his 3rd base being denied. It's a nice pickup, but he needs more. Gets a kill. Oh no! Kills the gas guys, but he's going to lose the Oracle. Oracle goes down. Ay, ay, ay. Brutal pickup. The Oracles are very low. SKillous, he has to pull out. Gets 3 drones for an Oracle. It's okay damage. And you can see this time Dark, he's much faster to take up into Hydras. Hydra Den is already on the way. This time, no Roaches. So Dark, he's skipping Roaches, he's skipping Banelings, going straight Ling Hydra. +1 range tells us we might still see a Roach Warren, though. It could be like the setup for Roach Hydra. We'll keep an eye on Dark. Ling's still poking in. SKillous is still trying to be active. Now that he's down to 3 Oracles, yeah, he doesn't have the DPS to deny the expansion. Gets Revelation. And with that revelation, he does get eyes on the Hydrogen. Not bad. He sees the Hydrogen. He also sees the Infestation bit. This tells him that Dark is not going for an all-in. But he is free to drone, and he's working on his splash damage. Colossus. Colossus on the way. Again, we're making our way into the mid-game, but I will say that Dark is in a much better position, not just because of his tech, but because of his economy. He just droned. He just droned heavily. He's up to 86 workers. He's on full 4-base saturation. He's at his ideal worker count already. And the problem is, because of the early losses from SKillous, because of the disrupted third and the lost oracles, these mineral lines are safe. Dark, he is safe back at home on a very, very nice drone count. And now the supplies may look similar, but Dark is soon going to skyrocket ahead. As he's done droning, and now he can focus on Hydra production, and soon Lurker production as well. So Dark is looking very comfortable at the moment. And the problem is that Skillous doesn't really have any pushing power. It's one of those things where, like, oh, Dark, he's getting away with all this greed, but, like, what can Skillous do? And Skillous, he's just stuck at home. He's stuck at home. He can be active with the oracles, true. He can try to go for some adept movements and some adept run-bys. He's moving out with his main army, but he has to be very careful. It's a very fragile main army. And he's going to use it to clear creep. He's going to clear up as much creep as he can. Again, this is very necessary for Skillous to do something on the map. Takes down some tumors, but he has to get out of here. He's going to get surrounded. Forced to recall the Colossus. No! The recall gets missed. Colossus is going to go down. And Skillous, he might even lose the second Colossus as well. Yeah, he will. Yeah, there's no escaping this. Started stepping here out of Dark. One shot away from going down. The Colossus barely escapes. Oh my god, 8 HP. But for how much longer? As Dark, he's not stopping. He's not slowing down. He's moving forward. Takes down the Colossus. Massive pickups. And Dark, he's overwhelming. He's just overwhelming the army here. Just had momentum for the majority of the game. All from the initial hatch block into the denied third. GG gets called, and Dark, he will snowball out of control, tying up the series. We're going to the ace match. GG. We are going to the ace match. We're going to game 3. Again, a much more assertive or decisive game there out of Dark. From the beginning, he was in the driver's seat. Skillous had a really hard time recovering from the opener, and again, just never really had any momentum himself. There was potential for like some Adept harass or some Oracle harass, but for the most part, he was stuck at home. And that move out from Skillous, as we were mentioning, was very risky, and he paid the price for it. He got surrounded, got shut down. GG. GG, well played. Whew. And the question becomes, where are we dropping? Where are we headed next here for the ace match? What map are we going to be loading into? Are we going to be loading into a much larger map or a smaller one? Something more macro-oriented, something more aggressive? Where exactly are we? Let's go. Let us find out. As it looks like we have our lobby. I hope I'm joining the correct... Yeah. Correct lobby. And interesting. Okay, game number 3 is going to be on Amygdala. I would say a very macro-oriented map. Amygdala is one of the larger maps in the map pool. Can be very safe and very defendable up to a point, up to a 4-base economy. Getting a 5th base on Amygdala is difficult for both players. We spoke about this in the previous series, how on Amygdala, the center goal base can be quite difficult to hold on to, especially if you don't have map control, and the fringe bases are also very spread out as well. So because of that, we actually see a lot of turtle play on Amygdala, where you slowly just set up your 4 bases, you slowly encroach and get a 5th base, then you max out. We've seen a lot of late game, a lot of like 40+ minute games on Amygdala, but Dark isn't really known for that sort of thing. Like, he can play late game, don't get me wrong, he can play it, but he doesn't like it. If he can end the game early, he will. So our eyes are on Dark, and we expect to see some aggression of some kind here. I mean, we saw it against Ryung. Remember, what did Dark do the last time we saw him on Amygdala? He went for a Ling Queen drop load all-in. He went for a German taxi against Ryung. like he knew the power of this map, and he just went for the all-in. So we expect something similar here. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Amygdala, we have the red Protoss player for Team Liquid. being forced into the ace match. Can he bring it back? It is SKillous. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg tying up the series 1-1, forcing the ace match. Can he keep it going? It is Dark. We go. And again, a big reason why this map is so defendable, one, it is a large map, true. Large map, long rush distance by ground, but also because of all these rocks, because of all the terrain here, it can be very difficult to rotate, to attack one location and then try to rotate towards the top side as well. It's just very awkward to rotate, very awkward to apply pressure in multiple places, and because of that, it is much easier to defend, to protect your 4-base setup, and eventually get a 5th base as well, and head in towards the late game. Which I imagine is why, especially after Ryung played Mech in Game 1, we saw Dark go for a Drop Lord all-in Game 2 on this map. Right, the Drop Lords, they don't care about your rocks, they don't care about your terrain, they just go straight across and you can commit to an all-in. Not saying that Dark is going to do the same build here, but I do expect something more decisive here by Dark. I don't think he wants to play at a longer game, a longer macro game if he can avoid it. We'll see. So we'll keep an eye on Dark. As this time, hey, we get the hatchery. This time there is no hatch block. I should have emphasized that as well. But again, because of the size of the map, the ability to go for a hatch block is much lower here. The likelihood is much lower on Amygdala, on Abyssal, on Frost, sorry, not Frostlight, on Neon Violet Square as well. So this time, SKillous can very comfortably get into his game. It almost felt like last game, SKillous, he was playing from a handicap from the beginning. Like he was just stuck in a really awkward place and he never got out of it. Here, he can settle in, he can be comfortable. Stargate's on the way. So Stargate opener out of SKillous. Probe is going to be forced back. Dark getting his 3rd. And from here, we're just droning up. He pulls out a gas as well. Only enough for link speed. Dark being as efficient as possible. Sorry for not muting. It's been a long day. For those that are curious, this is our 3rd broadcast of the day. This morning we were casting the OSC Season 12 Championship. Just before this event, we were casting a best of 7 show match between Beyond and Zound. We were casting the Fairy Cup show match number 12. And now we're here with the WardiTV Monday. So it's been a long day. Oh my god, speaking of a long day, we have a short game ahead of us because that is a 3-minute 30 lair timing. Oh my god. Very fast lair. This could be a couple different things. This could be a Link Queen Nidus all-in. This could be a Drop Lord all-in. The sign of this being a Drop Lord all-in is going to be Overlord Speed, so we'll keep an eye on the hatcheries for Overlord Speed. If not, I'm leaning more towards Nidus play. This could also, if we take 2 extra gases, this could be something crazy like 2-base Hydra. If we take all 4 gases, this could be 2-base Muta. Regardless, crazy tech on the way here, and it's going to be on SKillous to confirm. There it is. You know what I said. Overload Speed, German Taxi, Drop Load all in out of Dark. The Oracle needs to scout, needs to confirm. The sign here for SKillous is going to be to check the main. But now it's going to be forced back. Once again, setting up extra gateways, going for the Twilight Council. This looks like Blink. Yep, there it is. Blink is on the way. Very fast Blink here by SKillous. We saw this build on Frostline, and this is really strong defensively. Why is it strong defensively? Because, one, this is earlier than a standard Blink timing, which means Blink might finish up in the middle of the all-in. And Blink may impact the game. May impact the defense, I should say. It's going to be closer. Likewise, Gateway Explosion to help out with his reinforcements. He scouts, he sees the lair. Lair is already done. That's a big sign. Lair is already complete, and here come the Drop Lords. Here comes the all-in. It's all or nothing for Dark. Loads up the queens. Lings are flooding. Cutting workers here at 42, or at 45 really. Did lose 3. So he cut workers at 45. And the Oracles, they get eyes on at least the Lings. He doesn't quite get eyes on the Drop Lords. But Shield Battery's on the way. He knows. He knows something's wrong. Shield Batteries are on the way. He has 1 Shield Battery here at the natural. He has Shield Battery here at the 3rd as well. Queens are diving in. And where are those warp-ins? He's going straight for the natural instead. He breaks through. Lings, they flood into the natural base. Shield batteries are not ready. Yeah, they're barely not ready in time. The Oracles take a lot of hits. It's going to be forced back. One Oracle goes down. Massive pickup. And Dark, he's doing it. He's breaking on through. He floods into the natural. SKillous caught with his pants down. Wasn't ready. He will lose another Oracle. Both Oracles go down. SKillous is trying to make a stand. A lot of probes are falling, though. Going to lose every single probe here at the natural. And Dark, he has done it. He has broken the natural. He's broken SKillous. As that 17 probes falling, GG gets called, and Dark, he will claim the series 2-1, advancing on to the next round. GG. Whew. GG, well played. SKillous, Blink finished as he tapped out. Blink finished as he tapped out. And again, unfortunately, SKillous, he did not see the drop lords. You could see that he actually had his army at the third. He was getting ready for an attack at the third base. Meanwhile, he had like one adept at the wall and a shield battery at the natural. Like, he was not ready whatsoever at the natural base. Otherwise, would have seen those stalkers reposition. SKillous, he knew that something was wrong, didn't exactly know what was coming. Again, for all he knew, it could have been a Link Queen Nidus all-in. It could have been a Roach Space all-in as well, because he didn't get eyes on the natural. He was still a little bit ambiguous, or he was still ambiguous as to what was happening. GG. GG, well played. Dark, he will cheese the hell out of SKillous and make it to the semifinals. Whew. Oh my god. GG, well played. Congratulations, Dark will advance on to the semis, and we have some more results coming in. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the back yourselves.